Hey everybody, Eric Brown, MOBO-Media. Hey, coming to you from a very unique place. I'm actually recording on a cruise ship right now called the Ovation of the Seas. Just finished up a 10-day New Zealand tour from Australia to New Zealand. And so now we're heading back to Australia. And let me tell you, man, the waves have been pretty brutal out here. Pretty brutal. So much so that the ship's crew, they've had to close off certain areas of the ship because of safety reasons. I mean, people falling all over the place. I went to breakfast this morning. And I tell you, man, that was a an interesting experience. You falling against walls and wobbling and all type of stuff. And so, man, my stomach was just churning, and I had to head back to the room. You know, um, right now on this ship we have about 3,100 passengers and 1,700 crew members on the ship. So all told, about 4,800 people. There are a lot of elderly folks on the ship. One thing I didn't see this morning were a lot of elderly folks out and about, because the risk of falling is very high. It's very high. And I don't wish that on anybody. I did actually see a couple of elderly folks this morning almost lose it. And I kind of, when I saw them, losing a balance, I would motion toward them, to help catch them and things like that. But the best place to be right now is just somewhere safe and just sitting until hopefully the water smooth out. We'll be in Australia probably within 24 hours. 24 hours. So we're still out in the middle of the ocean right now. But I wanted to hop on here real quick and talk about something I think every family can attest to, and that's the importance of the matriarchs of the family, whether it be grandmother or mother, or for lack of a better word, I mean, the woman in the family that holds it down. And I do say woman. Men, this ain't for y'all. This is, you know, the women historically, particularly in black families, and I don't mean to make it a racial thing with any family, uh, they are the centerpiece of the family. They are the foundation of the family, the pillar. They're the ones you go to for advice. They've got good wisdom. They show you how to cook food. They, help you to raise your children, show you the right way to raise them, and they, incorporate good morals and values to their children and grandchildren. But when the grandmother passes away, gets their wing, when they get their wings, oftentimes family become, I don't want to say disconnected, or you know, um, I don't know. Disconnected is not a good word. I think for the most part, you know, for a long time, a lot of folks rely on that individual in the family, that woman in the family, to kind of hold the family together. So when that individual passes away, the family goes through a lot of growing pains, man. A lot of growing pains. A lot of growing pains. In my opinion, to be honest with you, this is just my personal opinion. I think that if grandmothers were here forever, it wouldn't do families justice. It wouldn't be good for families, because families have to continue to grow. At some point, the umbilical cord has to be cut with families, and they have to be able to carry things on and keep moving things, because the grandmothers and the Medias and the Mobos, they've got to pass on the baton and make sure the family's good, and pass on everything they know, and so that the family is well taken care of as they rest in heaven. Now, a lot of times, like I said, when the grandmothers or the matriarchs pass away, there's so much confusion, and for a long time, people relied on that one entity in the family to hold things together. And when that's gone, man, it's just like a wow. It's a pretty interesting dynamic. I don't want to, it's interesting because oftentimes you see families. I don't want to say, again, I don't want to say become disconnected or anything like that. It's just natural. They relied on this one entity. Now this entity is gone, and it's like, what do you do? What do you do? Well, for the grandmothers and the Medias out there, you keep going. That's what they wanted for us, to keep going. And so, you know, me personally, I consider myself, and I was a young old soul, man. I hung around the older folks, listened to the blues, and getting a lot of wisdom from the old folks, and getting some of those values, and the proper ways of living a good life. But when that matriarch is gone, when that center of the family is gone, the family is almost like in a fog. It's like in a fog because um, it's almost like that guidepost, that pillar that holds the house together is now weakened. The house is weakened. But really, what it takes is for folks to just really just stop and really think about what the grandmothers and the Medias taught them, and just keep moving forward. Just got to keep moving forward. Like I said before, grandmothers, in my opinion, I think if they were here forever, it doesn't do families justice because families have to grow. They have to keep evolving. Because at some point there are a lot of other grandmothers that are going to come about and be matriarchs and be the ones that hold it down. I know my own family. My grandmother passed in 2005. I still remember, man, when she passed. Went, to the house when she passed, her home. Um, and I never forget, man. There was just so much confusion because it's interesting. She passed on Mother's Day in 2005, and prior to her passing, there was plans to have a big Mother's Day meal. Cooking all this food, great food, and you know, obviously Granny was she was pretty ill, so she couldn't do a lot of things herself. She did what she could, but she just didn't have the energy. So I have aunts and other family members that jumped in who can do some magic things with a spoon and a fork and a pot. You know what I'm saying? But on that day when she passed, I'll never forget. The morning of Mother's Day when she passed, I never forget, man. It was just so confusing. Everybody just like walk around in circles, almost like, what do we do? What do we do? And by the grace of God, at some point, the sadness became joy, and we ended up having a Mother's Day feast, as she wanted. And grannies, they do a lot for families, but at some point, grannies have to earn their wings. Medias have to earn their wings. The Mobos have to earn their wings, and the family just have to keep carrying on. So, for those folks out there that have experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. Take nothing away from anyone that holds the family down, whether it be an aunt, mother, sister, whatever. But there's something unique about the old school grandmothers, the old school mothers, what do you want to call it? I mean, they were closer to um, the old school principles of, living a good life and taking care of each other, looking out for one another, making sure that we feed each other if need be. You know what I'm saying? We protect each other, and we just have to just continue to do what the, we have to continue to do what they laid the foundation for. They laid the foundation for us to keep carrying on as a family, basically. So, um, for those out there that have experienced this, um, it's not a good feeling at first, but at some time, after some time, the family, you know, for the most part, they come together, and but it's never the same. It's just never the same, man. It's never the same. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. All you got to do is just stick to those values. Hold on to the old school things that we used to do, such as family reunions. My own family, I think we're planning a family reunion in April, and it's been 7 years. And so, for me, I think this is a turning point for our family. My grandmother passed in 2005, uh, and then 2017. That's just how long it took for us to come back together just as a family in a family reunion type setting. And that was 2017. It is now 2024, so that's 7 years ago. So it's time. It's time. But I believe this is a turning point. My wish is for us as a family to have family reunions more often, like they did back in the day, and family just come together and celebrate each other, to celebrate the integrity of the family. So salute up to the grandmothers, the Medias, the Mobos. Anyone out there, any lady out there that is a pillar of a family. And I'm no fool. I'm no fool. I know the women are the ones that are the foundation of families. And more power to the women out there. Y'all keep doing what y'all are doing. And I tell any man any day that no man can match the strength of a woman. Woman is just one of the most strongest things on earth, and black women. One of the strongest things on earth. I got to mention that. I got to mention that. But with that, I'm not gonna hold you. Just something I had on my mind. I want to just try to speak to. God bless the grandmothers. God bless the matriarchs of the family. God bless those folks that are continuing to hold the families down. And God bless those folks who would likely be next in line and will be the matriarch. And no one knows who that would be. Only God knows. And so, but we have to just keep moving forward and hold on to those old school values. Hey, that's all I have. Once again, God bless the grandmothers, the Medias, the Mobos. Salutes out to all the women out there who continue to hold it down each and every day. God bless y'all. This is Eric Brown, Mobo Media. I'm out.